They thought they had won. My parents, my sister, they all believed I would just step aside and hand over the company I built from scratch. But they didn't know what I was capable of. I didn't just walk away. I built something they could never take. This is the story of how my family's betrayal became the best mistake they ever made. If you've ever felt like you were underestimated, or if you've been wronged by someone close to you, hit that like button, subscribe, and get ready for one of the most satisfying revenge stories you'll ever hear today. The protagonist, a 33-year-old man, recounts the early days of his tech startup. His passion, the long hours, the sacrifices. He built his company from the ground up with nothing but his skills, drive, and the will to succeed. He describes the exhilaration of seeing it grow, the sleepless nights turning into victories, and how it felt to see something he created succeed. The first 5 minutes establish his triumph, his pride, and his love for the business he had poured his soul into. But then, the emotional shift. Sarah, his younger sister, smart, charming, with the support of their parents, graduated from a prestigious business school. They'd always favored her, showering her with praise, while the protagonist was left to fend for himself in the world of tech. There's an undercurrent of resentment here, a feeling of being overlooked and undervalued, both by his family and society. It's in these early moments that we begin to understand the complexity of his emotional journey. When Sarah graduated, the family's expectations shifted dramatically. They began pushing for her to join the business, the protagonists not wanting to reject his family, but already feeling the weight of their favoritism towards Sarah, reluctantly agreed. Sarah brings in new ideas, some that work, but her approach quickly becomes overbearing. She makes decisions without consulting him, wins over key members of his team, and starts managing parts of the business without his approval. The tension slowly builds. We can feel his frustration growing. The protagonist can't escape her shadow, and every move she makes only exacerbates the feeling that the family doesn't trust him enough to lead anymore. We see him struggling with the feeling that his company, his dream, is slipping away from him, but there's a part of him that refuses to let go. He feels like an outsider in his own life. The audience is drawn to this because who hasn't felt the sting of being betrayed by those they love? It all culminates during a family dinner when his parents announce their plan. Sarah will take over the company. The protagonist's world shatters. His family, his parents, the people who had witnessed his struggle from the beginning are now backing Sarah, the daughter they always favored. The betrayal cuts deep. He tries to argue, to make them understand, but they are steadfast in their belief that Sarah is the better fit. He's left speechless, hollow, and broken. The anger builds inside him, but he knows it's not over yet. At this moment, the protagonist realizes that if he wants his company, he'll have to take matters into his own hands. He begins to quietly plan his revenge. This is where the story takes a darker, more thrilling turn. The protagonist spends days in his office, analyzing every corner of the business. He knows it inside out, the contracts, the clients, the key players in the industry. With methodical precision, he begins to shift key contracts and assets to a new entity he quietly starts. He recruits the top talent from his old company, ensuring the new venture will be a strong one. The audience feels the tension in the air. Each new move is deliberate, calculated. There's a montage of moments where we see the protagonist quietly pulling strings, meeting clients, recruiting his team in hushed tones, sending cryptic emails. The music builds slowly, enhancing the feeling of anticipation. His thoughts become laser-focused, his heart steeled with resolve. I built this. I sacrificed everything for this business. No one gets to take it from me, not even her. The day of the announcement arrives. Sarah and the family are busy celebrating their victory, but the protagonist has one final move left. In a dramatic moment, he walks into the family dinner. With a calm demeanor, he announces his resignation from the company. But that's not all. He reveals that he's taken the best clients and core talent with him. He's built a new company, one that's already flourishing, one that they can't touch. The look on Sarah's face is priceless, her eyes wide with shock. The betrayal she thought she'd executed so perfectly has backfired spectacularly. The music swells, and for a moment, the audience feels the protagonist's sense of triumph. There's a satisfying finality to the scene as Sarah's smile falters and her confidence crumbles. Sarah, stunned and furious, can't do a thing. Her family, too, is left speechless as the protagonist walks away, leaving them with nothing but regret and frustration. The protagonist's new company thrives. Sarah's company, now run by his family, falters without the talent and resources it relied on. The protagonist looks back not with bitterness, but with the knowledge that sometimes betrayal can be the catalyst for greatness. Sometimes the hardest moments in life push you to create something greater. My family thought they could take what I built, but all they did was spark a fire that led to something better. Karma always has a way of catching up. If this story gave you chills, hit that like button and tell us in the comments, what's the most satisfying revenge you've ever witnessed? And, of course, subscribe for more stories like this. You don't want to miss what we've got coming next.